everyone and welcome to my vlog for the Bibliothon. I am picking this up straight after last week's reading vlog, which is why I'm in the same clothes. It's Thursday morning and I am ready to kick off this readathon. I'm really excited. I don't actually know what I'm going to read first, so let me just get my books so I can show you my choices. So I will be reading Scythe by Noel Schusterman, but I wanted to start with a physical book just because I'm more in the mood for that. And I am also currently in the middle of Bands of Morning, so I might try to squeeze this in as well as one that I read maybe like 30 to 50 pages of a day, and then it can maybe fit towards another challenge, I don't know. My choices are Vox, which is the feminist dystopian book that I was talking about, Lock and Key, Welcome to Lovecraft, which would be really short, and to be honest I'm leaning towards this one, and One Way, which is an adult science fiction book. So I can't remember which challenges these ones were for. Obviously this one was for graphic novels, but I can't remember which challenges these two were for. So I don't know, maybe I'll read the first chapter of each and then see which one I want to pick up. And because I'm reading a fantasy book, I think these two will be good choices because one's sci-fi, one's dystopia, so I'm not going to get confused with the Sanderson stuff that's going on. I'm sorry about the sun, it's like glaring at me right now. So I will go ahead and read the first chapters of these two and then maybe read some of this, and then I'll get back to you and let you know which physical book I will be reading for this readathon. But first I do need to go to work, so I will do all of that after work and I will let you know what happens. Bye. I didn't have a chance to record yesterday because I was so busy and so tired from like work and things. I had a work experience guy come and talk to me about my job, and then I had to like show him around the office, and then after work I did a bit of recording and I just didn't really read or vlog anything. However, I did get to listen to an audiobook, which also means that I have kind of diverged from my original TBR as usual. So I'm currently listening to The Five, which is a new book that came out this year, and it's about the victims of Jack the Ripper. I don't know about you guys, but in the UK, at least in my school, all we learnt about his victims was their names and that they were prostitutes and like the dates they died. The focus was more on Jack the Ripper and that mystery. The author did a lot of research into the victims, and this book kind of humanises them and looks into their history, and she shows that they weren't actually all prostitutes and they had backstories and lives going on, and it's really interesting so far. I've listened to 2 hours, so I'm thinking that I can listen to this whole book throughout the readathon because it's only 10 hours long, and that can count towards a couple of challenges, maybe like new to me author, free choice, or adult book or something. So far I'm just learning about the first victim called Polly and about her backstory, and the author's done so much research into her life and used like censuses and things that we know about that were going on at the time, like the homeless thing in Trafalgar Square. A lot of homeless gathered there, and so did Polly because she lost her home because her husband was having an affair and she had a drinking problem. It's all really interesting. So far I would highly recommend it. I am listening to it in the car, so I do have to keep rewinding at points because I lose concentration because of idiots on the road. So it's a bit more difficult than my usual audiobooks are to listen to because it's not as dry, it's more telling the story, and I actually care about these women and learning more about them. So I'm really enjoying it. I would highly recommend it so far. I'll be listening to that to and from work today, so I should knock out another hour and a half or so. And then I think later on I'm going to try to read a graphic novel because that'll be nice and easy, and then I'm hopefully going to read like 30 to 50 pages of Brandon Sanderson. Also it's Friday, so I don't need to go to bed as early today, but I will update you, I promise, and I promise to be better at vlogging. Hey everyone, I'm just about to do my dinner, but I wanted to give you a quick update. It's now Friday evening and I've read a little bit more today, or rather listened to. I've listened to another hour of The Five, which means I've listened to in total 3 hours and 7 minutes, something like that. So I'm just going to make some food, and then I think I'm going to go for the graphic novel that I have on my list. So this will be for the graphic novel challenge, maybe for like an adult book, or I don't know, I'm going to figure out the challenges later on in the week, I think, once I see how I'm doing. So I'm going to start Lock and Key in a bit and hopefully finish it this evening because it should be quite a fast read, I reckon. I mean, I know it's a fast read, I've read it before. I don't really know what I'm having for dinner yet. Quill just told me to cut an onion and some celery, so he's gone for a run. I couldn't be bothered. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then I'll update you later. Hey everyone, happy weekend. I am so happy. It's finally Saturday. I'm planning on chilling out today and doing a lot of reading. So since I last spoke to you yesterday, I read Lock and Key and I liked it just as much as I did the first time. I saw on my review that I gave it 4 stars back in 2013, and I would give it 4 stars again. It's dark and gritty and really enjoyable. In case you don't know, it's a graphic novel about a group of kids who lose their dad. He is murdered, and then they go and live in his childhood home, and that is the key house. And in this house there are doors that can be unlocked with special keys, and these keys and doors can let you go and do special things. For example, if you go through one door using a key, it swaps your gender, so you go through as a woman, you come back in as a man. Another one, if you go through, you turn into a ghost, and then your dead body is kind of just lying there, and it's really, really good. Really dark and gory, but really good. And then also, I was going to read the first chapter of both Vox and One Way, but I read the first chapter of Vox and now I'm hooked, so I've read 100 pages of that. So I'm going to do some more reading now. I've just been to the library as well, so I'm going to show you a quick library book haul. At some point I managed to get Scythe, which is really good because I'll be reading that for this readathon. And then tomorrow we're going to a dog show, so I'm going to do some more reading now because I've got the afternoon free, and then I'll keep you updated. Hey everyone, it's Sunday morning, so this is day 4 of the Bibliothon and day 3 of the Off the Grid readathon, and I finished my second book for both readathons. I finished Vox and I loved it. I don't think I would give this 5 stars just because I was expecting the ending to be grittier, and I would have preferred that, I think, just from the way that this book was going. It got much less dystopian as the book went on. Not in like a bad way or anything, it's just at the beginning the main character is kind of like shackled pretty much, she's not allowed to say anything. Those things got like lesser throughout the book, and so it didn't have as big an impact on me as I thought it was going to, but it's still really, really good, so I'm probably going to give it 4 stars. So now I've just done a workout, which is why I look like this. Did an abs workout for 30 minutes, and we're about to go to the country show, but first I need to figure out which book to read next. My choices are Scythe, which I found in the library yesterday, really happy with myself, or One Way. So I think I'm going to read the first chapter of each. I'm currently leaning towards Scythe just because I think it's going to be a faster read, and also because One Way hasn't had many good reviews. Morning everyone, it's currently Monday, which is why I sound exhausted and not really with it. I haven't really done much more reading because last night Quill and I were playing Divinity 2, and so that took up a lot of our evening. I only ended up reading 1 chapter of each of the books that I mentioned to decide which one I was going to read, and that didn't really help because I'm interested in both of them. So I read the first chapter of Scythe and I'm definitely intrigued, and I know that I like Neil Schusterman's writing, but the first chapter of One Way was also really interesting and I'm kind of in the mood for space. So I'm going to think about this over the course of the day while I'm at work, because I'm not going to have a chance to read anything until I get home this evening. Normally I can read a bit at lunchtime, but I'm having lunch with friends today. I will think about that, and in the meantime I will continue listening to The Five as an audiobook on the way to and from work, and then later on I also have the gym, so it's a bit of a shorter evening today and I'm not sure how much reading I'm going to get done. Good morning everyone, I've done a tiny bit more reading since we last spoke. I've started Scythe. I think I might have told you that already, but I've started it and I've now read 65 pages. It's currently Tuesday morning before work. I'm on late this week and I made an effort to get up early so that I could do some reading in the morning. So I hope you're all proud of me. I'm taking this bibliothon very seriously because before I would have just stayed in bed. So I'm going to read Scythe for an hour. I've got an alarm on my phone to tell me when to stop when I need to go to work. It's 7:45 and I have to leave at 55. So I have a ton of time to get through some of this. I'm hoping to get to page 150, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. Morning, it's Thursday morning and I haven't updated you in a day or two, just because I had a really bad evening on Tuesday and then a bad day yesterday, like as a result of that. So I didn't really get much reading done, but last night I did read a little bit more and I've made a bit more progress with Scythe. I'm now over 200 pages in, really into it. Definitely get the hype. It's probably not going to be a 5-star book just because the subject matter isn't as compelling, or it doesn't hit me as hard as Unwind did. Not that I'm like massively comparing the two, it's just that's why I'm loving a Neil Schusterman book, but that's why it's not as good as Unwind in my opinion. But maybe something will happen at the end that I will love. I am still working my way through The Five. Not much is really happening right now. I'm feeling quite anxious and I didn't upload a video last night like I was meant to, so I feel a bit bad about that, but it was only going to be a haul. You're going to have to excuse this hair. It's very early on Saturday morning, and I am quite tired because I stayed up for a lot of the night to finish Scythe by Neil Shusterman, and I can say this is definitely worth the hype. I'm really glad that I finally picked it up. Don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner. A couple of things happened in it that I definitely wasn't expecting. A couple more things were a bit predictable. It ended quite well. I thought it wrapped up as though it was kind of it could be a standalone. I think it's obviously definitely not. So I'm really looking forward to reading Thunderhead and The Toll and getting back into this world. I'm not sure if this is a trilogy or if it's going to be a longer series, because Neil Shusterman always tends to expand on his series beyond what he originally plans. So I finished this last night, and then I started To Be Taught If Fortunate. And I know that the Bibliothon was technically over last night, but I've decided to carry it on up until Monday when the reading rush starts. So I started To Be Taught If Fortunate on my Kindle, which I received for review, and I'm so excited. I'm about 25% of the way through that. I do have some plans today, but for my physical book I'm going to be reading one way, and I'm hopefully going to finish this weekend before the reading rush starts. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to the group book, which turns out to be Aurora Rising, not Stardust. So thank you for everyone who corrected me on that. I just don't think I'm going to have time to do it. I'm probably not going to have time to finish one way, but we'll try. My plans for today, the reason I am up so early after going to bed so late, is because I am going to view some houses. I will maybe take you with me. I don't really feel comfortable taking you into the houses because I don't know if the tenants are going to still be there. Basically, Quill and I are moving to a town that's halfway between both of our jobs, because at the moment we're a lot closer to mine and it takes him an hour and 15 minutes to get to work every morning, which isn't ideal, and it also cuts his evening short. So we're going to move halfway at the end of September, and so we're just starting to look at houses and flats now. We've got 4 to see today. I'm quite nervous because I don't know if the tenants are going to be there, I don't know what the estate agents are going to be like. We are unfortunately still renting, so that's also another thing to take into consideration, because at the moment we're currently dealing directly with the landlords, which is lovely. It's a really nice experience, and I don't really want to go through an estate agent, so I think all the ones that we're viewing today will be managed by estate agents, so I'm a bit nervous about that. But anyway, so we'll be doing that. We'll be going out for lunch and just kind of looking at the general area to get a feel for it, and then when I get back I'll be reading some of One Way and Becky Chambers' book. God, the sun is shining right in my eyes, but this is the best place to vlog. So it went really well. We saw all 4. The first 2 weren't great. The first one was very dirty. The walls were painted like bright pink and blue. We were looking for something more neutral. The women who lived there also had a dog and 2 cats, or more cats, I'm not sure, which would have been great for us because it would have meant that the landlord allows pets, and I really want to take Octavia because she's currently living with my granddad. But it was really dirty. Things were falling apart. It just hadn't been kept very well. So we thought, for the price and considering there were better properties, we thought we wouldn't go for that one. So then we saw the second flat, and that was basically just the same as this one, and we are looking to upsize. It did have 2 bedrooms, which is what we wanted, so that we can have like a library room and a gaming like area, but it was still quite small, and the only reason it had 2 bedrooms was because the bedrooms were smaller, and it was also up 2 or 3 flights of stairs, which meant getting furniture up and down would be a complete nightmare, especially like with all my bookshelves and the king-size bed and everything. So that one wasn't ideal. But then we did see 2 really nice properties. They were both the same price. The first one had 3 bedrooms and was absolutely perfect. The patio was a bit naff, but I don't really care about the patio, to be honest. We can do something with that. And then the second one was really new, had a lovely garden and everything that we'd have to maintain. It's just, it was smaller and it wasn't dealing directly with the landlord. This third one was, and that's what we want. So we've put in an offer for that one, and I'm hoping we're going to get it. The only thing is it's available now, and we're not moving until the end of September, so that might be an issue. I won't be heartbroken if we don't get it, but I would really like if we did. Just remembered that I forgot to give you an update on The Five. I finished it on Friday evening. I loved it. It was very, very good. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It shed a light on victims of Jack the Ripper, and I know so much more about them now, and I will talk about it more in my wrap up. But basically, read this book. It's very, very good. The audiobook narrator isn't fantastic. She kept doing really weird accents, which really put me off, but I would still highly recommend the book. As for this evening, I think I'm going to call it here. I will speak to you tomorrow once I've done a bit more reading. I also forgot to mention that I went to the library and came back with a ton of books, so you've got a library haul to look forward to. I think I've got 11 books checked out right now. Good morning, it's Sunday. I haven't done any more reading, but I am making banana bread, so I thought I would show you how I'm doing that. I'm not really a baker, so don't judge me, but this is the best banana bread recipe that I have found, and it makes the most gorgeous banana bread, so bear with me. So this is what we've got. We need 140 grams of caster sugar, self-raising flour, and butter, which is meant to be softened, but it's not. I will deal with that in a bit. I've got 2 large eggs to beat. I've got 2 mashed bananas. I've got baking powder, which we need 1 teaspoon of. I've got Nutella for the top and potentially some other stuff. And I've got baking tin and I've got scales. And that is pretty much everything you need. So I'm about to beat the eggs and mix it with the caster sugar, and then I will get back to you. I think I just told you the wrong thing. So I've just put the softened butter and the caster sugar in there, all of it. So I'm going to cream that, and then I'm going to slowly add the eggs. So I think I got that the wrong way around before. I can't remember, but here we go. I really need to get a better setup because I'm too short for this, but I'm slowly adding the eggs, like very, very slowly, as well as a tiny bit of flour. I'll mix it and then add a bit more. So I've mixed that, so now I'm going to add the remaining flour, which there isn't much left of because I've been adding it slowly just to keep the consistency good. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, would you please focus, and then all of the mashed bananas. I'm going to mix it, and then it's going to go in the tin, and then it's going to bake. So now it's in the tin, and it's going to then go into the oven at 160 degrees Celsius in a fan oven for about 30 minutes. It might need a little bit longer, to be honest, but we'll see. This is how it looks. It had to stay in for about 45 to 50 minutes in the end because it was still quite wet inside. So I'm just gonna wait for it to cool down in here, and then I'll take it out and then cool down some more. And then I will add Nutella and let that dry, and then I'll eat the entire thing. Hey everyone, it's the end of the Bibliothon. It actually ended a couple of days ago. I've only just had time to wrap it up because I'm into the reading rush now, but I thought I would do a quick little wrap up for you. I read a total of 5 books for this readathon, and I thought that was quite good for 1 week. I completed almost all of the challenges, so I'm just going to quickly show you those. The first book that I read was Lock and Key. This completes the challenge for graphic novel and also for adult book. I then read Vox and absolutely loved it. This one completes the challenges for author you've never read before and 5-star prediction. I then of course read Scythe, which is a host's favourite book, and I can see why it is really, really good. I didn't give it 5 stars, but I did really enjoy it. So this ended up being for the challenges host's 5-star read, read a host's 5-star read, and also excited for but never picked up. As an audiobook, I listened to The Five, which is adult non-fiction. I really enjoyed this one as well. It was so interesting. So this completes the challenges Free Choice and Author I've Never Read Before. And then right at the end of the week, I finished To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. This is her newest novella, which is coming out in September or October. You should probably know when. Needless to say, I absolutely loved this one. I love Becky Chambers books so much, and this novella was so no different. I normally struggle with short stories, but I love this. It was fantastic, and so I'm really happy to have read it. I guess this one would be the cover read because her covers in the UK are fantastic, her US covers not so much. So the only challenge that I didn't complete is to read the group book, which was Aurora Rising, not Stardust like I originally said. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to get to it. I was considering starting it on Sunday night and trying to speed through it because I added 2 days to this readathon as well. I didn't really want to have Aurora Rising roll into the reading rush, so I didn't. I had a really good time this week with the Bibliothon. This vlog is going to be an interesting one to edit. I hope you guys had a really good week as well, and I hope you're enjoying the reading rush.